Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Thursday, August the 25th, 2016. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our main hypotheses. Our style of trading is a if, then that. If this happens, then this is a probability, and we're going to do that. And therefore, we create multiple hypotheses based on what the market could do so that we have a plan of action in place prior to going into the marketplace. And we're simply looking for the market to determine which of our hypos is most likely and then take action based on that. This is a subscription room, so if you want to come in and check us out, you can send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. This is just a small group of retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. And we do everything live in the go-to in these live sessions in the morning, then live trading and analysis during the course of the day. Before we begin, please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so yesterday, our main hypothesis and our hypo 3 is what really was in play. Hypo 1, when we were doing our homework, we were up here in range but outside of value. So the idea was we were going to push up into value and then somewhere in value fail and then come down towards this 81.50 and down towards the 78, 79 area. That was our hypo 1. Hypo 3 was a open auction in range but out of value, fail at the low, chop here, and then push down through to the 79, 77 area, chop around there, and then push down through into that 69 to test the 72.50 and possibly push through to a late day probe of 69 naked VPOC we got. So we got basically a hybrid of hypo 1 and hypo 3. So we got the main hypo targets, and then we've got the extended targets, which is usually what hypo 3 is, more of a bigger rotation. We got under the month open. We are under the week open. So now we are sitting down here. We're trading right now 69.75. So we're below the week open, which is at 81.75. That's going to become our key line in the sand above us in terms of whether or not we're Thursday of the 9th week of a bullish nine consecutive bullish weeks. This has only happened once in the last 20 years, and now we're below it. So this 9th might not be a bullish week. So we have to keep an eye on that. Going to keep things going really quickly here. I'm not going to go through our regular routine. I do want to point out, though, that we had broken the on a larger time frame. I'm going to take this up to a daily. You can see that we had this ascending wedge, and we broke out of it. I mentioned it when it happened. That was the first clue that we were going to see some weakness and push down even further. And we have the longer time frame weekly upward sloping fork. We're now on the smaller time frame. We are in a descending wedge, and we've got to watch for possible breakout, for a move back up, or continuation and a move down towards the lower trend line and towards those key targets below. Now that we're below the 72.50, we have a lot of targets that we have that we can watch and trade towards. So 72.50, I told you, was my line in the sand overnight. I'd be short below it, and the long above it. I've been trading it. I am short right now off of the news. We have the 67.25 just below us, which is the value area high of the microcomposite that we just broke out of. We're inside the microcomposite that we broke out of. And then the one that we created once we broke out of, we're now below the value of that. So we're in this little overlapping area of the two microcomposite profiles with a clear target down below us right now at 67.25. We already took out that 69.50, and then the next key line in the sand is going to be this 65.50. Anything below 65.50, you've got the naked VPOC at 64.50, and then the 60.75 microcomposite VPOC, which is our major target below. We get back above 72, look for them to come up and close the gap and come into the naked close at 75.25. Look for a little bit of resistance here between 73.75 and 72.50. But if we can get back up here and get back inside of yesterday's value, we're likely to get a continuation back up into the 77, 79. We do have targets above and targets below, but right now I'm leaning towards continuation down into the 60, maybe even the 53 area. We've got so many targets below. The news came out. It was kind of mixed. We came out with better than expected unemployment claims, 261 versus 265. Durable goods came out higher at 4.4 versus 3.4, and core durable goods came out at 1.5 versus 0.4, and Canadian corporate profits were up from minus 4.6 to minus 3.4. It is the start of Jackson Hole Symposium, the economic symposium. Yellen is speaking tomorrow. We've got Japan news tonight. 9:45 this morning, we got flash services PMI, and then we got natural gas at 10:30. But you've got headline risk as things come out of Jackson Hole regarding the economy, economic policy. We could get some movement based on that. So just keep it tight today. Don't fight if you're in a losing trade. Just get out of it, take your loss, and move on to the next trade. Going to the overnight session, we have a very boxy looking profile. We've got kurtosis here at 21.70.75. I doubt that that's going to change. So our overnight VPOC is going to be 70.75. Might shift. It shifted a little bit down, up and then down, but 70.75. Always keep in mind that when we do these things, there's still a half hour of trading, and certain levels can change. Our overnight high is not likely to change, 21.76.25. And our overnight low currently right now, we just put in just a couple of minutes ago, 69. It is I'm sorry, we put it in a little while ago. It is a week low, 69. And then there's really not a lot of information. There's a little bit of an LVN here at 73, but I'll be watching the 72 to 73, 75 anyway, so we can get rid of this. Our daily ATR, 20-period ATR right now is running at 1381, so 21.76. Got to write these down. So off of 21.76.25 minus the 1381, 21.62.50, and to the upside off of the current low of 21.69 plus 1381, 21.80 82.75. All right, so we can move this over, get rid of this, put our daily downside ATR target down to 62.50, and our upside daily ATR target comes down to 82.75. Our weeklies don't, bottom doesn't change. Our downside weekly is down here at 21.41. Remember, that is down here in this large blunt area of the composite, and at the composite VPOC, the most traded price going back to 2013. So we do have room still within the week to get down there with range. We're likely going to put in a new, we've been doing this the last few days, either been putting in new lows or new highs coming into the RTH session. So we're likely to get a break here below 69. Anyway, I'll have to adjust this as we go. My main hypothesis is a open auction just outside a range or just inside a range, a rotation up to test the 72.50, possibly close the gap somewhere between the 79 and 72.50. I'm looking for sellers to step in, initiative sellers to step in and push us down into our next big target below, which is 64.50, chop around there, and then push down towards that 60.75 and back into the balance that we broke out of on the, what was it, the 5th, right? On the 5th. So that's Hypo 1. Hypo 1 is open auction, just in range or just out of range, but out of value, push up into the 72.50 key line in the sand, possibly up into a value, but a failure somewhere, inside of value. Very much the same as yesterday's Hypo 1, and then a push down lower and continuation lower. That's Hypo 1. Hypo 2 is a open auction, just in range or just out of range, a push down into the 64.50, between 67 and a quarter and 64.50, looking for a rotation back up into value and up into the 81 and closing in the upper distribution up here around that 79, 81, maybe even a late date probe up into the 2190. That's Hypo 2. Hypo 2, move down, find buyers somewhere between 67 and a quarter and 64.50, rotate back up and get into the upper distribution of the prior day. Hypo 3 is an open auction, fail, chop around between 67 and 64, push down through to 60, chop around there, and then push down through and test the lower side of this balance, okay, down in the 53 area. We've got that naked VPOC at 53.75, and clean up all of this down here. Maybe a push down to test the lower side at 49 and a quarter, but that's a little bit of a lower probability, but we never know. I think we're going to get a little tight today coming into tomorrow, especially we did not get a very big move off of the unemployment news, but anything can happen. And so Hypo 3 is failure, push down, and get a continuation day down and hitting the lower targets down in the 50s. And then Hypo 4 is a take back day, open auction in range, hold or just outside of range, get back into range, hold the range, and then push up into the 77, 79 area, chop around there, and then push back up and continue and go up and make a new all-time high above the 91.50, which is our current all-time high. So those are my four main hypotheses. I'm trying to do this quickly because I was late because I was trying to trade the news. So I'm just going to put my levels in really quick. Obviously, the 84 area the 76 area, the 72.50. This gets moved up to the range low from yesterday. Our overnight low held so far, and then all our levels to the bottom and all the levels to the top remain the same. Currently, right now, we're below the Keltner center line, below the VWAP from the 24-hour session, and below both of the overnight VPOCs. We do have a zipper that we have formed, so we can take a look at the measured move on the zipper. We had push down, create the balance. Pick the wrong drawing tool. So 65.50, that's the CLVN is the primary target, and 63.25 on the extended target. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.